band, and you got the new album coming out on September 4th. How long has it been done for?
A little over a year.
Wow. When you have something done like that for over a year, does that mean that you have the next 3 albums done?
If it were up to Dauber, yeah, that's exactly what would happen. But the label slows us down, and I slow him down, so it makes it hard to sit on it. But I mean, he has a lot of music ready to go at all times, I feel like.
Sure. So when you have a long lead time like that and you're building up music and all that, do you have any creative outlets outside of the band?
We have other bands. He is pretty busy. He has a band called Necrofire and Malignant Altar. And then I have a band we're in a band together called Genoa. Mm-hmm. And then the other dudes, I know Jesse has Fall. And Zan has another band. I don't think he's announced it or they've come out with any work yet, but everybody has other projects. So, and then just home and life keep us pretty busy.
I can imagine. Looked like the latest music video I saw from you guys was filmed in the midst of quarantine, based on the individual videos. Do I have that correct?
Yes. This last one was shot. It was shot about a week before, or it was finished about a week before it needed to come out. And we had big plans for it, but obviously COVID threw all that under the bus. And so we had to figure out a way to salvage the video idea and do something kind of across the world.
I think it looks fine. And at the very least, you documented what's going on in the world. It's better than, say, today Paul Stanley from Kiss putting out a post about the new Ferrari or Porsche he bought.
Sure.
At least you're contemporary with what's going
on. Yeah, I like it. I think we'll be able to look back and it's a little time capsule, so I don't mind that.
So your vocal is intriguing, not just because they're beautiful and strong and great and all that, but you have dual vocals going on the recordings, the dual male, female leads, trading verses, harmonies, screaming and all that. Do you track your vocals first and then the other vocals get added on, or is it ever actually done live in the studio together?
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do anything together. And that I track everything first and then we send it off to them to do. So, well, I take that back. So Mick recorded where he was at. So we didn't get to be together and I recorded it first. But Tom was for the Banished Heart for No Color, No Light. Tom was actually in Houston for a tour and we brought him to the house and he recorded his part. So that was pretty cool.
When you know that another person has vocals, do you have almost like how an actor has somebody reading the other person's lines, even if they're not the actor? Do you have a person demoing or doing the other vocals like rough while you're cutting yours?
I do them. I just do both, and they have to transpose it if necessary, or they kind of get some artistic freedom to interpret it how they want.
Wow!
But I know with No Color, No Light, people were like, how do you do it live? And I'm like, what do you mean? And it's like, I wrote the song and I sang Tom's parts originally. So it's like, I can do them. I don't know. So I guess with this song, with the new song with Mick, we would have Jesse do them. We didn't have another clean singing male in the band until now. And so it'll be cool to have that dynamic be able to come to life on stage. I'm very excited about that.
And when you're writing for the band and you're coming up with the vocal arrangements and all that, do you do it with an instrument in your hand or do you just hear it in your head? How does that work?
I mostly hear it in my head, but I will venture to the piano to help me sort of figure out harmonies or find the notes a little bit better sometimes if my ear's not catching it. But for the most part, it's just in my head.
Have you always been a piano player, or is it kind of like Ozzy Osbourne? You learn the notes and you learn how to write that way.
Well, I am a very what's the word? Informally, like I can. It's like I understand how a piano works, but I don't play like full songs or anything. It's purely just for, I guess, the scales and the harmonies laid out. So yeah.
So you're 2 or 3 steps above playing chopsticks or heart and soul when you sit down at the piano.
Exactly. Exactly.
But could you play along to the music of your band if you were sitting down at the piano, as in like play full songs through, or is that just like that's too advanced?
That's too advanced. Dauber can. I mean, Dauber plays everything on piano. He's classically trained, and so if anything, if it gets too crazy, then I call him and I'm like, play this or tell me if this sounds right, and then I sing it, and then he plays it. So he's my go-to for making any instrument in the house come to life the way that I want it to.
Well, another thing that I'm unsure of with your band is if we go to the Wikipedia page, they call you doom metal. If I go to the press release, they called you prog metal or prog rock. How do you actually like to hear the band described?
I don't mind prog metal. I don't like being called rock. I think we're pretty damn heavy and way too heavy to be considered rock. But I know that we have rock, like we have songs that are kind of ballads and they're in between. So it's like I get that crossover kind of happening. I don't mind doom. I think prog metal fits, doom fits, death metal, but it's like it's with a good percentage of each of those. So if you told someone, oh, well, they're a prog metal band, that's not going to give them the full picture. So it's like they're a prog doom death metal band with a soulful singer.
Prog, let me see if I got the right. Prog doom death metal band with a soulful singer. Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's fairly suitable. And I don't know if I can think of another band that has that kind of description. So that kind of speaks to your originality.
Yeah, I think that we're working with some interesting variables. They come together so naturally for us that I forget sometimes how foreign they can seem to other people.
Sure. Most U.S. cities, if you challenge me, you go, who's from there? I can name people. And when you say Houston, I'm going to say, okay, Paul Wall. But then I kind of get stumped on the rock end. Are there rock bands, great rock bands besides yourself? I'm sorry, you're not a rock band. Prog, death metal with soulful singer. Beyond that, kind of bands from Houston that we don't really realize are from the area?
I'm probably gonna get in trouble if I don't know any. So I know Doug Pinnick lives here now, but I don't know if their band was considered to be from Houston.
Yeah. I think King's S were they from New York originally? Whatever.
Yeah, it's like I don't think they were from Texas or Houston. I can't really name any. If Dauber were here, he would know if there's to be known. But
right.
Oh, ZZ Top.
ZZ Top's a Houston band? I thought they were an Austin band.
Maybe I'm claiming just Texas. Let me see.
If we do just Texas, I mean, you can always go, Willie Nelson and so many great people. But I was just stumped. I guess I could go to Wikipedia where it tells me you're a doom band.
Yeah, no, we get them. They're from Houston. Boom. They're the main, because he had a mansion in Galveston, and Wikipedia says they're from Houston.
Okay.
American rock band from Houston. So that makes me hella proud. We watched a documentary on them, and they're insane. I love ZZ Top. That was my first and only rodeo concert I've ever seen.
Wow. Your first and only rodeo concert. Does that mean you went there because ZZ Top was playing?
Yes. I went and they had the stage and it was spinning, and I thought, how terrible must that be to spin around your whole show? Because it's an arena, like a circular thing, because that's where they do the, whatchamacallit, the cow stuff, the I don't know proper terms, the lasso games, the rodeo games, right? And so they had this huge spinning stage, and you could see their beards probably from space, and it was amazing.
One of the most famous venues here in New York, specifically on Long Island, New York, has the spinning rotating stage, And it's kind of funny to see really, really famous artists just have to do that for one gig, you know, against their control. Have you ever played on a rotating stage before?
Heck no. I get crazy motion sickness. I can't even like watch boats for too long. I could not imagine. I would be like laying on the stage, like holding on for dear life, like it's moving too fast. And they were like, what is wrong with her? Wow. That seems like a nightmare. I mean, we have to take the ferries, you know, sometimes to get from, you know, across wherever, and I'm dying. Like you would think I'm I'm in space and people look at me, but my inner ear is non-existent, I guess.
So
I mean, if I absolutely had to, I'd take a bunch of Dramamine and slur through my words, but I'd get through it.
So that means that you haven't yet done a metal cruise.
They asked us, and it was the 1 year that they ended up changing it. It was 70,000 tons.
Yeah.
And it usually falls around the Super Bowl, and it was the 1 year that they moved it up earlier. And so the timing didn't work. And I was like a little bit happy because my brother got married and went on a cruise, and that was the only cruise I went on for him. And I literally stayed in my room the whole time sick. It was so terrible. Wow. And even like the Dramamine, nothing. Like I am a land creature, not meant to be out in the middle of the ocean. So I'm not sure how that would go, but lots of drugs. I don't know. Performances would be sketchy for sure.
So if I recap everything I've learned, it's correct genre to call you guys how you do your vocals. It's a ZZ Top is from Houston, not Austin. You will not be playing on any rotating stages or cruises if you have your way. And the album's been done for about a year, and there is more material written for the next one. So I guess I'll ask the closer, and that's any last words for the kids?
Oh, man, we miss everybody. We hope everybody's staying safe and healthy. We're definitely a band looking to get back on the road soon and get back live. So, you know, we're working on it, and we miss y'all. We miss everybody.
I would imagine so. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in New York when you eventually get back on the road. So thank you so much for your time, and congrats on this great new album you've got.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cammie. Take care now.
You too. Bye-bye.
Paltrocast.